Howdy, it's Tubalcain again, and in this video I want to show you how to make a small magnet pickup device to pick up chips in the T-slots of your machines and other places in the shop. But you know, I do not like to use an air gun. I do not like to blow the chips off. I know that most of you do that, but I tend not to like that. I didn't allow it in the school shop because they would blow the chips around and hit each other with it, and you just couldn't turn the kids loose with a squirt oil can or an air blowgun. So this is mainly what I use, and this is one that I carried for 40 years when I was in my prime. Brown and sharp actually, but you can turn the magnet on and off by moving the plunger, and it was perfect to pick up the chips and so on. And this one actually is worn out because it's been rubbed so many times. And this isn't a super magnet. This is not a neodymium magnet, but I'm going to show you how to make one a little bit larger than this. So let's step over to the bench right now. I also have this larger one I even use on the floor sometimes, or the bandsaw or wherever, to pick up shavings, and you can buy these at any tool store for $10, but you know, that'll pick them all up, and then you can drop them right into the wastebasket. So that's a pretty nifty device. It'll pick up some aluminum too, because it gets embedded into the steel chips, so that's why you see other materials in there, even plastic. But that's what we're going to make, only a much smaller version, and this is one I made quite a few years ago. And the wiper is gone. You'll see that on the other one here in a second. But this one is just copper tubing, soldered, half-inch copper tubing. And I never did solder this end, and that's a super magnet, neodymium, which I've talked a lot about lately. But on this particular one, I didn't even have the magnet fastened. It just held onto this nut. And I used it in that manner. But you have to have the wiper on it, so let's talk about making one of these from scratch. These magnets are about ½ inch in diameter. There's a whole stack of them there. I bought those on eBay for $8 or something. They come, I think they come straight from China. It took a long time to get them, but I like the kind with the holes in them for the application I'm going to show you now. They're countersunk on one side, but that isn't necessary. But I'll set those to the side and I'll show you what I got here. This is just ½ inch copper tubing, and it is about 4 inches long. And I bought a cap, put it on there. Now, instead of soldering that on, I put it on with Loctite. I know that some of you people don't like Loctite, but I sure like it for that kind of application. And I fully intend to Loctite this one on here when I'm done with the video. So this is the wiper here, and that can be any kind of plastic, Delrin or whatever you got. That's about 1.5 inches in diameter, and if you ream that, I believe it's 5/8, it's just going to stay wherever you want it. You can move it a little bit, but the whole principle here again is that you can pick that up, pick the chips up, and then they'll fall off. But you need that wiper on there, or the chips will follow all the way up here and torment you. So you got to have the wiper. But let's look how I made this before I seal it up for good. There again are 3 of those magnets, and this is 832 threaded rod, and I turned the nut down so it would kind of recess a little bit into the countersink there. It'd be ideal to have that even more flush. A nut on the other end, a hole drilled into that cap. I think it's 5/32 or whatever fits this. And this is a knob that I had in stock, cabinet knob. You know, all cabinet knobs are 832, so that fit right on there, and that's been Loctited after I determined the length. So that's all we got here. You can make that any length you want, and I'll probably make another one out of smaller copper. This is the next size smaller, but I have to get some different magnets. This is ½ inch copper, or I call it ½ inch. This is 3/8. So I'd like to make another one when I get some magnets that size. And you can have a knob on here or a nut, whatever you want, or nothing. Just the end of the threaded rod. And it's just perfect for cleaning up machines. If you're kind of fussy about your equipment, you know, that you might find this handy. Or some of you might think it's foolish. Just use the air hose. I got a question for you, no need to answer. Why is it that these little copper caps here are $1.10 at Ace Hardware, but when I decided to buy some more of them in a local farm store that they're only 55 cents? And that it probably only takes 2 cents to make them, but I understand there's got to be a markup. So there's some Loctite on there. And we'll close the tomb and seal it. If you ever need to take something apart that is held on with Loctite, just warm it up nicely with your little torch and it'll come right off. So it's not a totally permanent thing, and handy as can be. And then determine the length of your rod and cut it off when you put that knob on there. And this little job is done. So that's really about a 15-minute job when you got all the materials assembled. And you can make it in any size, any length that you can. And these, again, are neodymium super magnets. You probably won't find them in stores, and do not use little ceramic magnets. They're worthless. They got to be these strong ones. And I just arbitrarily decided to use 3 of them. There's no particular reason. I just wanted a little bit extra strength. Maybe I should have used all of these. And watch in the future here as I make a video about these magnets, and again show you how that when you drop these through copper or aluminum, that they don't fall right through. It takes a little bit of time for them to come through. Lenz's law. Alright, this is Tubalcain saying so long for now.